a car. And sometimes that car program started at a really kind of lowish rank, but in the company I was with, it didn't. You had to be a VP or higher kind of level to get that. And I remember thinking to myself, or saying out loud, not just thinking to myself, man, once I have that car, it wasn't even that I wanted the car that bad, right? Because the car I ended up getting it was a luxury car. It was beautiful, but my double stroller didn't fit in the back very well. And I remember thinking, who would have thought I was missing the minivan that I never thought I would drive? Because I hear I have this luxury car. But with that said, I wanted it because I knew that it was going to signal to people who knew me that this business that I had been sharing worked. It wasn't that I needed a status symbol. I was missing my minivan. We'd go on a trip and fly somewhere and rent a car, and we'd rent a minivan. I'm like, why am I loving this more than the $100,000 car sitting on the driveway? It's the double stroller thing. I'm telling you, they make those things a bit smaller now. This was a long time ago. But I remember thinking, of course, everybody's going to believe me once I've achieved this thing and they can see it. But I need to find people who believe me now, or I'm never going to get there. And it was in some of those moments that I realized I needed to carry myself with belief. I needed to stop thinking seeing is believing, or I'll believe it when I see it, and start saying, I believe it, so I'm going to see it. I believe it because I know that I can go do this and that I won't stray the course. I will stay the course. And that belief is what led to us getting that car that didn't fit the double stroller. Okay. It did. Earned another car later in a different company that didn't even fit all my kids. I had four kids and it was a five-seater. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're going to get it. It's being paid for. So it's not always about the car. Spoiler alert, we don't have a car program here. We pay you well enough. When you build your business, you can just go buy whatever car you want. Okay. So, and it can fit your double stroller or your excessive Costco runs or your, adventure gear in the back, whatever it is that you want. But it was never about the car. It was about recognizing that I needed to have the belief to even get anywhere. And I will also tell you, and your leaders can tell you this, just because you get to a certain rank, all of a sudden everybody doesn't say yes to you. You do have a bit more credibility with some of your dream stealers that show up at Thanksgiving and say, "Oh, are you still in that weird thing? You're still in that thing." And yeah, when you can start talking a little bit about some income, maybe they believe it a bit more, but it doesn't change. My husband and I own Bravenly, and we're on track to hit $100 million this year. And I still have people in my life that haven't even tried our products because it's one of those MLM things. You'd think they'd be saying yes by now, but guys, we all have those people that it's just not their thing. They just don't see what we see. And I think it's just so much why we have such a tight-knit community and why, when you're in a healthy company, that community and connection can be so good, is because we're a group of people who are free to build a business how we want to and build this on our own time. But I'm not looking at Sean going, "You're in one of those things." I'm going, "Man, you are so smart. Gosh, you see it. You know what this can do." Like we have that like-mindedness where we can be individuals, we can have our own story, our own journey, but at the same time, we get each other. And that, I think, just the sooner you realize that belief, in a lot of ways, is a choice. Okay. I don't think we always realize that. It's like, well, I either believe this or I don't believe this, but belief, just like love, is a choice, right? We know there are types of love that are a feeling. I feel these loving feelings towards you, but we also know love is a choice, right? You choose to love people, even sometimes when they're being unlovely, right? That's the definition of unconditional love, without condition. Well, there can also be belief like that. That's not belief based on the fact that I'm getting the most sensational result every day. Now, it's great to have those days. I hope you have days where you get customers, two of them in the same day. I hope you have that sip and social where, my goodness, you had 10 people show up and half actually chose to be a brand partner. It doesn't always happen. But your belief can be so rooted and so strong that even when the storms come, your belief is still rooted in the fact that you are in a place where there are people who love and care about you, want what's best for you, not just in business. I hope you know that there's a lot of people around you that want the best for your family, whether you make a dime here or not. If it's your goal to make at least a dime here, then we're going to help you do that. You do need to make $20 to get a payout, so at least aim for $20 so that you can get those earnings. But I want to just reiterate that, this is a season of believing and having faith, but it's also a time of having courage. And so I would just work on your life, really focusing on areas that you can believe bigger, because that belief is what fuels those actions. I don't know how many of you guys were at the leader summit that we just had. A handful of you probably were just there, but Naomi and Joe, who are platinum EVPs here, they're part of our incredible Amish community. They shared on stage, and they were sharing a bit about kind of their journey and what it's like to build in their community. And they do get a lot of pushback. I know that sometimes people might think, oh, they're Amish, they just go to all their Amish friends and everybody just blindly says yes. Oh no, guys, they get pushback. They get questions about ingredients. Naomi has had to do a deep dive on ingredients, way more than you probably would ever expect. And they get pushback for lots of other reasons as well, right? Pushback for building something that, could build an income. That's not always that's sometimes frowned upon. But one thing they don't lack is belief. It is literally through the roof, and it is extremely contagious. Actually, when I saw Glenn in the airport the other night, I'd been in four other states, 4 days in a row, flown back to Florida that same day, drove to a different airport, met up with my family, and got on a plane and flew back up to Indiana the other direction. And they ran out of name tags, I think at 500, they had 540 name tags because everybody was wearing a name tag. They ran out and there were still people coming through the door because they believe it so fiercely that these Amish communities, they will hire drivers to pick them up as a group on a bus and bus them in from all over the place. And yes, Rachel, you remember that I don't love flying. I was very proud of myself. And I will say, both of the flights I did to Indiana and back were in the dark. That is, I don't like flying, but I especially don't like it in the dark. But the things I do because I love you guys. So what I was saying about Naomi, though, is their belief is so strong. She literally shared on stage at the summit that they did an event in the not so recent, not so distant past, and had people there. And one of the guys was a super skeptic, and he went there, arms crossed, like ready to just tear it apart. And you know what his biggest criticism was about the night, the sip and social he went to, or the meeting? Man, she just believes in this stuff too much. She just believes way too much in these products. She just believes way too much in this family and this company and this. That was his criticism. So be the kind of person that the worst thing about you that they can say is you just believe too much in what you're doing. And honestly, is that not good life advice? If you have a strong faith, if you maybe you're a Christian like I am, believe so much in Jesus that you just believe in that thing way too much, or whatever it is. You believe in health and wellness, Glenn, and fitness and a life of adventure and being courageous. You just believe in that way too much. I'll take that kind of criticism all day long. I love it. Bring it. It's great, right? And so just remember that in this season. So what does belief look like? I've seen a few of you put belief has a voice. And I say all those things about belief. You're probably like, we've heard it before. But guys, the fact that some of these things you hear us say, you've heard over and over, let that be an alarm bell. Next time you hear anybody in leadership in this company say something and you have that moment of, oh, I've heard this before, let that be a stop you in your tracks going, okay, there's a reason I keep hearing this. What do I need to hear right now in this moment? So that's why I'm focusing so much on belief, because when you believe, and some days you're choosing to believe, just like you're choosing to love that spouse of yours each and every day and take that action, you do take action in your business. When you believe that this business could change someone's life. Again, I'm not promising any sort of crazy number of income, right? I don't know what they're going to do with the business. So I'm saying that for the record. But if you truly believe that this could be the thing, if they get to work, okay, why are you not talking to more people? And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm not trying to tough love anybody, but seriously, come on. That's the kind of kicking myself in my own rear that I had to do for years. If I say that I believe that this is the best company in this industry, that the timing is incredible, we're just about to hit 5 years old, we're debt free, we've got great products, we have the pay plan to prove it. If I truly believe that, why am I not talking to more people? And again, I don't want you to feel bad, but sometimes you got to take an honest look and say, you know what, I could do better, right? I have to do that all the time. Anytime you ever hear me on a training, you read between the lines and go, sounds like she's been saying this to herself lately. Yes. Okay. Because I don't say anything that I'm not saying back to myself. Right. So I'm always evaluating. Am I doing my best today? Are there areas where I was doing busy work and not work that will change the lives of the customers and brand partners in this company? Did I get caught up in something that I didn't need to because it took me away from the main thing in this business? We've got to stop being scared of what someone on the other side of that message is thinking. Who cares? Who cares if they tell you you're a big dummy and a scam? Who cares? Do you think you're a big dummy and a scam? No, you're not. They just don't know. Just like I don't care if someone says I'm crazy for having the kind of faith that I do and the things that I believe in. I know in my heart of hearts what I believe, and it doesn't bother me what anybody says. It doesn't. Okay. And I understand how it feels to take things personally because I want to be liked. I want people to know that I'm a nice person, but I also want to do the right thing. And I know that the right thing is doing what I said I was going to do, is reaching out to people who deserve to hear about this business. And I will tell you, you, they deserve to hear about it from you. And I don't want any of you stuck on the sidelines thinking that someone over here, is doing better or moving faster. The truth is, everyone you know will eventually have heard about Bravenly. And that is not some sort of like weird sales pitch. Like, do any of you know anybody that hasn't heard of Target before? Maybe they don't shop there, but they've heard of it, right? Has everybody heard of the NFL football? Has anyone ever heard of Home Depot? Like, they're going to hear about Bravenly. I'm not saying everyone you know is going to join. I don't know what they're going to do. I hope they do, right? This could change their life, but I want those people to hear about it from you. I remember hearing in my first company, when I was getting started and, I was back then make a names list, make a names list. And it was like picture a piece of paper or literally have a piece of paper, if you will. And in the middle, okay, make 3 columns. And in the middle, title it maybe and write every name of everybody that you know. Look in your phone, look in your Facebook. It would be a lot of paper, right? Because you're going to write a lot. They're all maybe. Everybody you know that you have not walked through looking at a video, getting in a chat, blah, blah, blah. They're all a maybe right now. And your job, you are in the sorting business. You thought you were selling gold. No, you're actually in the sorting business. You are sorting that list. Yes, no, yes, no. And really, the no column actually is titled not right now. So you have yes, maybe, not right now. Everyone's in the maybe till you've messaged them and gotten them in a chat. Not even just till you've messaged and said, hey, I don't know if you've seen or not, but I'm actually working with the founders of the 6th fastest growing product company in the nation. And I'm working directly with them to expand this brand. And they've asked me to identify 5 key people that want to expand this wellness brand with us. When can I hop on the phone to have a conversation with you? That's just one example of what you could say. Because you, my friends, Laura, Jamie, Paula, Rachel, Jody, you're working with the founders of the 6th fastest growing nutritional product brand, not just nutritional product company in the nation. And I'm saying, let's partner together. Hey, Colleen, who can we talk to in your area that wants to expand this brand with us? Okay. Who wants to do that with us, Suzanne and Diana? Okay. Who wants to expand this brand? So until you've taken them through the process, they're a maybe. And one of the things that really got me into action was when my sponsor said, if you leave them in your maybe column too long, they show up in somebody else's yes. And that's not to create competition, fear, anxiety. It's to create healthy urgency of I've just got to once and for all talk to people. I remember waiting to talk to people sometimes because I felt like what happens if I get through my whole list? I was actually feeling like I needed to preserve the list for a while. And I wish I hadn't thought that way because that wasn't the best way to think. I needed to have more of an abundance mindset that said there will always be more people to add to the maybe column. But I just want to encourage you to do that. That is what I see so much in this space, but specifically in Bravenly. One of the best parts of traveling the way we do is I get to hear a lot of conversations. And yes, I get some great conversations with some of our EVPs and above. That's fantastic. But I get a lot of conversations with our executive brand partners. I get to talk to some directors. I get to talk to people who joined and are now a senior director, an executive director. And a theme is they're just talking to lots of people. I remember I worked corporate at a very large multi-level marketing company at one point, and I remember being with a group of brand partners and leaders, kind of a mix of people. And there were some people that were saying like, "Oh my gosh, it's just so painful when people don't reply and ghost me." And they were kind of talking through the emotions of being left on red. And one of the leaders there literally had the most dumbfounded look on her face. And they were like, "What?" And she's like, "I'm sending so many messages that I don't even notice who's not responding to me. Like, it doesn't even cross my mind to like be scared or sad or take it personally because I'm already like 300 messages down. I'm already going back through the A's in my friends list and then the B's on the second of the month and the C's on the third of the month and the D's on the fourth of the month. They're like, I'm already going through my list so much, sending a variety of different messages and links and asking them to get on call. Like, I'm in so much activity. And it was a really cool thing for her to kind of model that here she was a top leader in the company. And so I know some of you are doing different things to build your business. So don't hone in on the fact that I said messages. We do need to make the ask. Some of you are doing that in person and some of you are finding other ways. If you are sending hundreds and hundreds of messages and never get anybody on a call or in a three-way chat or to a sip and social, that is when you do want to talk to someone in your upline, whether that's Glenn or whether that's a different member of your upline or a sideline, and say, "Hey, I've sent X number of messages asking people to come to this really cool thing you guys are all building towards this weekend." And if you're not getting some yeses to that, get someone to help you and go, "Hey, am I coming on too strong? How can I create more curiosity and excitement? How can I, tweak the message a little bit, but just know that it's about action, guys." And I know we're getting to the end of the time that I have with you, but it's belief in action, choosing every day, like get up and just like you want to get your mindset right in the morning, put on your belief, your hat of belief, like put on your, belief, stocking cap and just say, "Hey, I'm going to believe in this and I'm going to have my actions reflect that. And, I'm going to believe that and I'm going to make some asks. I'm going to take seriously this event this weekend. I'm going to invite people there." And I think it's important in general in life. I don't know if you guys do this in your marriage where it's like periodically you meet and just kind of do a conversation, like a state of the couple conversation. I don't know if you ever have a family meeting with your kids, but I think it's important every now and again to have that meeting with yourself and just say, "Hey, where am I at with my business? Like, let's take stock of this. Let's not beat myself up, but let's see where am I at and what's working well and what's not, and what am I willing to change to get to where I want to go?" Because I don't want to be in the same spot in 6 months. It's okay to do that. And I want you to look at the positives too. For some of you, the positives is I'm getting out of bed now. Like I'm getting up, I'm working through, other stresses that I have. Maybe it's, I'm feeling healthier, so I'm having more confidence in sharing the products. But what are the wins from the last 90 days, the last 60 days? What are you so proud of? But what are the things that you're going to commit to for the next 30 to 60 days? What are some of those things? Because you want to be the kind of person that's focused on growing as a person. You become a better wife, mom, husband, neighbor, friend, colleague, business partner, team member when you constantly have that focus on what is the thing or what are some of the things that I can do to push myself a little bit more. And I love it. I'm not reading the chat right now. I saw a couple things, but I love it that Rachel did point out that I don't love flying. There's a long story that goes into that, but I went over 8 years without flying anywhere, which did cause me to miss even my sister's wedding, missed very important moments that I can't ever get back because that's what happens when you let your fear and honestly, irrational thoughts, because we all know the stats about air travel. It's the safest form of travel. I have a stack of books in my home library all about how often they take apart the planes for the A, B, C, and D checks of an airplane. Like I could tell you how it all works. All the logic in the world was not getting me through this irrational fear, but getting to the point where I finally said the only way around this situation is through it. Okay. No one could spare me the experience. There was no magic pill. There was no magic potion. There was nothing I could do that I was willing to do. I wasn't going to drink my way through it. I wasn't going to do anything. It was like, no, I'm either doing it or I'm not doing it. Like that's the only option. There was no way around. I tried it, drove 24 hours through the mountains, pregnant, to go to a meeting that lasted a few hours and had to turn around and drive all the way back. It was not good in my life. And I had a decision. If I hadn't made the decision to push through it, not around it, not over it, not wish it away, not hope it away, Bravenly wouldn't even be here because I accepted a job that was going to require me to fly to 10 to 16 cities a month. And think about, you don't typically go to a city on one plane always, especially when you live in Nebraska. So you're talking 2 flights there, 2 flights back. So 4 flights per city times 10, just 10 cities is 40 takeoffs and 40 landings a month. Add that up when you get to the 16 cities. There was anywhere between 40 and 60 takeoffs and landings a month, the worst parts of flying. And I said yes to that job. And I told my husband, I said, I will either have to quit this job in 2 weeks because I cannot, or I am going to figure out. And of course, a lot of prayer, a lot of, self-talk, a lot of looking out the window and saying, I'm feeling this fear, but I'm doing it anyway. I had to give myself grace at one point because I was having negative self-talk. I feel like some of you can relate. I was beating myself up. This was like 6 months into this, and I was panicking and still scared. And I remember looking around, being jealous of all the people. First of all, I don't know how anybody sleeps on an airplane. I'm still working on learning that. But I was like, how are they reading books? Do they not understand what's probably going to happen to us all in the next 30 seconds? Not going to be good. I had this narrative and I was so upset all the time that I wasn't enjoying this. Like, why are they having fun? Like, who's laughing in aisle 3? Like, this is not okay. But I then looked out the window that same day and I thought, you know what? I don't have to love this. I don't have to want to be Glenn and jump out. Okay. I don't have to want to get my pilot's license like my husband wants to. I'm doing something scary. I'm coping. I'm finding ways to pray and just self-talk and rationalize through this. And that's a big win. And so I think you got to remember that too, that you don't beat yourself up. Glenn's not beating himself up every day because he's not platinum. Does he want that? Yes, he's a high achiever, overachiever, and wants to be number one. We know he is, but he's also on a journey, right? He's also got to follow the plan that he's on, the path that he's on, and the journey he's on. And so just remember that you can still do really big things. If I hadn't taken that job, which was a corporate network marketing job that brought me into this space in a much bigger way than I ever would have, my husband and I would have never felt like the logical, biblical next step for us, purposeful, was let's open a company. And we didn't do that immediately after that job. It was a couple of years later, but that was the stepping stone. We wouldn't have what we have here if I would never step on an airplane and go anywhere. We'd probably have a big team in Florida because I could drive around everybody. But I don't know when I would see you guys. We wouldn't be flying to Turks and Caicos and Cancun and doing those things. And so that is just one example. And I know it's very personal. If you love flying, you probably can't relate, but I hope you can find something in your own life that holds you back, something that you might even be ashamed of. It's embarrassing to be the mom walking onto a flight with a 4-month-old baby weeping and so sad and scared that I stumble and knock over the tray that the flight attendant's holding and almost collapse, and she has to help me catch my baby. That is not my finest moment. But you can either let those things stop you or shape you into the person that you're meant to be. And so I want you just to take the reins on your business the next 6 weeks, finish out this month strong over the next 2 weeks, the next 6 weeks, go strong through the end of the year, and be that person that says, hey, I may not be the fastest. I may not love every minute because sometimes sending messages and getting out of your comfort zone is scary. Think about being at 37,000 feet, scared out of your ever loving mind, and say, you know what? I can do this. I can send the message. I can go live for the next couple of weeks, whatever it is that you're going to challenge yourself to do to step up even bigger because your family deserves it. This is not for me. This is not for Glenn. This is for you. You will love the person that you become. And I still have areas that I struggle in my life, but I'm also very grateful and I am proud of myself every single time I walk onto that jetway. And yes, I'm still nervous. Yes, I touch the side of a plane in the very specific spot. Yes, I have a very specific prayer that I pray. Yes, I've got about 6 brand partners in this company that know if they get a text from me at 2 a.m., I might be over the Atlantic flying on one of our family vacations. But you know what? I'm still getting up there and I'm going on trip after trip after trip, saying, I'm not going to let this fear shut me down. And I just don't want you to settle and downgrade the dreams that you have for your life and your family out of any sort of fear. Get people in that group this weekend. Invite people excitedly to this thing that you're a part of. They're going to hear it in your voice and see it in your message that that's something they're not going to want to miss. And of course, gear up for all the excitement that comes around here from the holiday season. There'll always be amazing things to look forward to, but it starts this weekend for you in the activities that you have going in your team. So don't wait. Don't wait for success to find you. Get out there and just go step into your purpose and what it is that you're supposed to do here. Because it is no accident that this team was divinely put together for such a time as this. And you're just incredible people that I'm grateful to have here. So, Glenn and team, thank you for letting me be a part of tonight.
Thank you, Aspen. Hey,
Yep.
real quick. Could you just touch on February conference and what makes that one like so important, real quick?
Yes. Well, it's every conference, I will say, like we get the most incredible feedback because we have people that are, first of all, hungry to learn, and those that are sharing the things that we've identified throughout the year that you need the most. And you see a variety of people speaking, you see a variety of ranks speaking. You're going to see people that are actually getting results with certain things. And most people leave conference and have these aha moments. It may be a conversation you have in the elevator, or it may be something someone says that sparked a belief in you. That's a huge part of my story, too. I won't get into all of it, but periodically you'll hear me reference things that I heard at my first conference that have shaped the leader that I am today. So it is one of those things I've always viewed as an investment in my business. My first conference that I ever went to, didn't have the money to go, road tripped and carpooled with people, slept on someone's hotel floor with a pillow and a blanket from the front desk, and ate peanut butter and jelly sandwiches that we packed in a cooler. And it changed my life. That's another story of if we hadn't made the effort and the investment of time and energy to get there. And of course, coming off of 5 years, getting to be in that room, just feeling the rumble and excitement. We have seen a dramatic difference in what it looks like when people go to conference, catch a belief that you can't manufacture on your own, that is caught in that environment, and it propels growth all spring long. And then that obviously spring growth leads to summer growth and new enrollments, and of course, a blossoming team that happens through the year. So it is really special. When we push conference like we are now, please know conference, I'll be honest, it's not a revenue stream for Bravenly. It's not like, oh, we need to sell a certain number of tickets because we're trying. No, we're doing it as an investment in you. It's an investment on our part as well, to do that. So we're not just looking to fill seats to be able to have a big number. I know very specifically that there will be people sitting in that room, and there are going to be people sitting there going, I've come to every Bravenly conference for 4 years, and this is the one that changed everything for me. It doesn't have to be your first conference. Now, if it is, be sure to get there, but it may be the one where everything shifts for you. Something happens when you walk out of there and you boldly send a message or make an ask, or someone in your life you've already been talking to, becomes ready after that, and you are equipped to help lead them. So I'm just really going to strongly encourage you to find a way. And just think about it. If you were in any other job as a former school teacher, I had, self-development and personal development and, things that I had to do to keep up on my education. Sometimes we would take classes and go to professional development. I know that it's an investment of time and energy, especially if you don't live near South Carolina. But remember, this is your business. This is your job. For some of you, it's your full-time job. For some, it's your third job, but it's continuing education, right? It's extra hours that you can invest into learning your trade. You are a network marketing professional. Even if you do this part-time, that's wonderful. Even if this is 5 or 10 hours a week. But in order for you to perfect your craft and to become a leader and an expert in a chosen career path, even if it is just a side career path, there are certain events throughout the year, at least a couple at Bravenly specifically, that if you attend, you get skills, you are refreshed, and you learn some new innovative ideas that better equip you to be the leader that you want to be. And even if you're just building with customers, you will learn some customer strategies and how to have some of those more bold customer conversations. So think of it that way too. Yes, there's a lot of fun and there's awards and there's photo ops. We're not going to leave out those things. So for some of you, it kind of feels like a little mini vacay because you get to go to usually a cool city and be around your friends because many of you are friends with each other. So we can't forget that part. But also, it is a business expense for you. This is a business that you get to have some of these experiences where you can continue to learn some of the things that help you get even better at your business. So we're excited to see you and to get to spend time with you there.
Thank you, Aspen. I know you've went
Thank
way
you.
over on your
Yeah, that's
time, so
okay. That's okay. Awesome,
we're
guys. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll hop off and let you guys finish out your call, but thanks for having me. It was good to see all of you.
we love you, appreciate
Love
you.
you guys too.
Bye. All right, that was awesome, right? Yeah, I don't know if I can follow. Like, man, she's just such an amazing leader. We're just so blessed to have Aspen in our corner, always being on the front line. So that, I mean, it was just super awesome that she was on. Man, she went 18 minutes over what she said she would do. So like that's if y'all are friends with Aspen, shoot her a message, tell her thank you for hopping on our team call. I think all those little messages like add up and it means the world to her. So hey, I'm gonna be real quick, y'all. We've already been on 38 minutes, and thank y'all for staying on this long. But I love how she talked about belief. I mean, it is all about belief. I feel like I myself am not talking to enough people. Um, I mean, everybody should be known about Bravenly and stuff, so that was good. But I do just want to touch on a couple things. So, is everybody inviting to the pajama and what do you call it? It's weird saying pajama party, but pajama and payday party. Hopefully, you guys are inviting to that. Like, that is so huge. And I just want to read off a message that I'm sending, and you can send whatever message that you want to. But I do have 17 people that have said yes to it. And I just let them know because a lot of times people think, oh, I got to be on these very long 20 to 30-minute videos. It's only going to be six 3 to 5 minute videos. Like that's nothing. I mean, that's literally 18 to 35 minutes tops that people can watch throughout the day. Because like I just had a guy's like, hey, what time are we going to be doing it on Thursday? I said, hey man, if you don't get off work till 7 o'clock, you can go binge watch them all at once, just like Stranger Things or whatever. But you can just binge watch them all at the same time. So he's like, okay, cool, man. Yeah, definitely add me. But I'm letting people know there's no obligation. So a lot of times people think there's going to be an obligation. I said, look, if you just comment on these videos and people see that you're watching them, like you have a chance to enter some of these $2,000 in prizes. But just know, y'all, if you get people that are in there, there's going to be a lot of cash back given to anybody who signs up as a brand partner. So our goal is to recruit right now and get them launched, get products on their body so they can talk about Black Friday, but there's going to be a lot of money given back to new brand partners. And we do get a 75 to $175 first order bonus. So people like, hey, I got to save money for Christmas or whatever. I would be painting vision of the money they can make with Black Friday, Cyber Monday, 12 days of Christmas, like in December. But if they're giving money back and you make 75 to 175, me personally, I'm going to give another 25, maybe to $40 back to like help get them in even more. There's going to be grand prizes. So definitely get your people in there. I would go through, look, I would go through all of your list. And actually, I'm writing down, you can't see this, but all 17 people that's in the group, I have all their names written down and I'm letting everybody know. So I'm sending them an invite, but then I copy the link and I send it directly to them in Messenger. Hey, let me know once you're in the group. So people are responding back like, hey man, I'm in the group. And then I'm going to be tagging all of these people. So don't just hit an invite. They're probably not going to see the invite. So copy the share link to the group and send it to them privately and say, hey, let me know once you're in the group. And then tag them on Carly's video. Okay, I think that's going to be like the way to get in there. Let's see what else. Yeah, let them know it's like over $2,000. Thank you, Mitzi. $2,000 that we're going to be giving away. Um, so the goal is to get as many exposures to Bravenly as humanly possible between like over the next week. So some of you guys have been participating in my incentives that I'm doing, and it's really geared towards giving us the best Black Friday ever. So a lot of that can tie into this Thursday. So right now I'm giving away 1 point. So if you add people to the group and you tag them on Carly's video and you take screenshots for every 5 people, you get 1 point. I would like to see more three-way chats, calls, and Zooms because ultimately that's what will get you to vice president. And you guys are doing really good about checking off what you're doing in my incentive chat, but there's literally only been three-way chats or calls in a week. So I think if we're going to be a platinum, executive vice president team or vice president, I really would like to see these people that you're getting into that group. Like once the group is over on Thursday, put your leaders in chats to like help us seal the deal. So you get 2 points for every one of that. Messenger party, shout out to Renee. Renee's already done like 3 or 4 messenger parties for her team. So Renee, thank you for taking leadership of your team and doing the messenger parties. If you guys haven't done a messenger party, please schedule one for yourself. If you're a leader, do one for your team. But that is really boosting everybody's business all across the whole company. And again, thank you, Renee, for doing that. So you get 3 points for doing a messenger party. So we could do the blitz on Thursday, and then you could host a messenger party, after. So my incentive is going to go on until next Monday. So if you do a sip and social, I know Sarah Jones has one this weekend. Julie has one next Monday. You get 5 points. So the incentive's going on. Also, y'all, I'm doing another. So that's for $140. I'm doing another incentive, and shout out to Mitzi for getting a new brand partner today. The top 10 increase on club volume from 7 days ago up until Monday is going to be if you're number one, you're going to get $50 given directly to you. But if you're in the top 10, then I'm going to put you in a drawing for $50. And then every brand partner that you recruit between now and Monday, you get an extra entry into that drawing. So I'm giving out $100 for increasing club volume and recruiting, and then $140 to the activity. I'm almost done. Thank you all for sticking with me. I was trying to make sure I didn't forget anything. I'm gonna drop the script that I'm using, and I've kind of changed a little bit in the Legends chat. That's getting almost everybody to say yes. But then after that, I'm saying, hey, it's this Thursday, but I'm leaving a voice clip and like kind of giving a little bit more detail, like, hey, look, no obligation, just hop in here, just watch the videos. But if you do decide to jump on board, there's going to be all kinds of cash rebates. Um, okay, last thing, and then so give me 30 more seconds. So Black Friday is next Thursday at midnight is whenever it's going to kick off. Okay, so at Thursday, because we don't want the site to bog down. So if you guys are up past midnight Eastern time, which would be 11 Central, Black Friday can kick off. But do not mention Black Friday, I would say until maybe Sunday or something. Then after Sunday, I would be start. So all these people you're adding into this, you can into this little pajama party. In your mind, you can be putting them on your list. But I would say on Sunday, what I would do is I would say, hey, we have Black Friday sales coming up on Friday or Thursday at midnight? Do you want to be one of the first to know and then start building your VIP list? I wouldn't do it now because you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. You want to get sales now. Like I'm going to be trying to sign up people like crazy till about Sunday because I am traveling to Texas on Monday and Tuesday. So for me, it's going to be hard. And then we also want to be with our family. But I would message every single customer, ask if they want to be one of the first to know, get on your VIP list. Everybody who's been interested in products. And here's one thing I did today, y'all, that's a super good tip. So if you've been adding people to the breakthrough page or Holistic Haven, if you click on members, I go to members and I start, obviously, people in Bravenly, you're just going to scroll past, but any prospect I've ever added to the group. So today, the reason I have 17 people that said yes is because I was going down through prospects that I've added into the testimonial pages. So I would be doing that to like build your Black Friday list, and just pretty much anybody that's ever been interested. But if you want this to be the biggest month ever, load up this Thursday's pajama party and then follow like, messenger party or whatever. And then, hey, do you want to be one of the first to know to get on the VIP list and just have that list ready to rock and roll? Any questions about anything? Oh, also be adding as many people into the breakthrough page or Holistic Haven because when the sales go live, if you got people in the group and maybe they forgot about your message, it's going to show up on their social media. And if you have a VIP list, you can be tagging people because that's going to show up on their social media. So also get people in Holistic Haven and the breakthrough page. I'm going to stop the recording and see if you guys have